Well, hey guys, I'm here with Kamryn, who co-wrote Simpler Times. We're here to talk a little bit about it, where it came from, how we established the vibe, and a little bit about ourselves and the heart of the song. So, thank you for being here.
Happy to be here, bro.
Originally, track 5 was going to be a filler for like a minute that its only purpose was to build anticipation for Little Things, which is track 6. Once I got deeper into the writing process for the album, I really felt like there was something missing in this spot. Like, it needs a breath of fresh air. I just wanted something that was a little more upbeat and just catchy and fun. I wanted to talk about balance. And I thought, how cool would it be to have a song about balance? You know, life balance, work and fun. A balance could be a duet. So I think of my buddy Kamryn, and we've done so much together musically. It's just like...
over the past 15 years.
For some reason, when we write together, it just works.
Yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer for me to work with him on this song called Balance. Didn't turn out that way, obviously. But when I started putting the music together, I just came up with a little harmonic thing, just kind of messing around with my guitar. I'm like, oh, that's a cool...
Yeah.
Like, what can I do with that? So I add a little electronic beat and start grooving with it. And when it gets to the chorus, the synth comes in, and all of a sudden it takes a turn and it feels nostalgic. And I can't get it out of my head, like thinking about my buddy Kamryn, this nostalgic feel. I look back at our high school times when we met. We were in biology in the summer.
Because we both failed it the previous year.
I got a D, but speak for yourself.
A D is failing.
Worse enough to have to retake biology.
Yeah.
But we both would get there early. We should probably jam. Let's bring our guitars and just make it a thing. And so one of our first musical projects together turned out to be an extra credit assignment for biology because
for us to pass.
Desperately needed to pass the second time.
We were almost about to fail it twice in a row. In summer school, we were still gonna fail. Like,
it was rough.
Yeah, so we needed an extra credit assignment. So that's when we wrote.
What was it called?
Warming as too much carbon. Greenhouse Light.
Greenhouse Light.
Yeah,
the greenhouse effect.
So we ripped off Semi-Charmed Life and stole the melody and the chords, and we replaced the lyrics. Instead of it being about cocaine, which I'm pretty sure the song is about, made it about global.
But that was the foundation of our friendship, was music. So like for the next probably 2 years of high school, bring our guitars and play at lunch. We had a spot that we would always go to that was called the Magical Bench.
We were the guitar guys walking around at high school. Sometimes lunch would go out, like, cool, let's go to our bench, like the same bench we would go to. And then we'll see some like random student sitting there eating lunch, and we're just like, bro. they gotta go. Like, this is our spot.
They took our bench.
And that's where we would write a bunch of music on that bench. And I don't know why we started calling it the magical. Maybe because like magical music was happening on that bench.
Because it was in the magical forest.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know why it was called the magical forest. We
were just strange.
Weird sense of humor.
Yeah. We were kind of lame. We were in high school, but we were like cool lame. And look at us. Look at us today. Yeah.
Dude, we're okay.
We came out all right.
So with all this nostalgia circling my brain, I'm thinking the hook immediately comes to mind, like Simpler Times, dude. That is the hook. There's so much in there that I'm just like remembering and reflecting on the past and how life gets busier and busier as time goes by. As you get older, you just add more and more to your plate, and it can be overwhelming, but you look back and think, man, if my life could only be like this, when my biggest concern was whether or not the magical bench will be available, and like, you know, getting good grades, of course, but
yeah, that was our number one concern. Sure.
But I flipped that in my brain. I'm like, okay, what about in 15 years from now, what are we gonna look back at in, I guess at the time it was 2020, like what do we look back at in 2020 of all years and think, man, it was simpler because of, you know, fill in the blank. What if now is a simpler time than what it's going to be in the future? So it's kind of a discipline to get in that mindset, but it brings you to the present moment. You can choose to be grateful or you can choose to be stressed. And right now, like, let's just choose to be grateful.
Yeah, it's like that's the first thing that everybody needs to do right when they wake up is remind themselves or think or even write down. Just have a pen and pad on your nightstand and just write down 3 things that you're grateful for. First thing in the morning, right away.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're a pen and paper guy, huh?
I'm a pen and paper guy, yeah.
So many times people have a good thought about you, but don't say it. Like, they don't just express that I think you're a good person, or I really like spending time with you. Don't hold those feelings back. Like, we are not promised tomorrow. You don't know what the person is going through that you're in contact with, where you could be a source of encouragement for them, and they desperately need it. So anyway, I started writing this song, and I liked where it was going, but I really just didn't know how to finish it. I got through, verse 1 and chorus, and I kind of felt like I said what was on my mind already, but I didn't know how to finish, so I just kind of passed it off to Kamryn, gave him my rough recording of it. He wrote a singing verse and a rap verse, and everything he wrote was perfect.
So you were just like one song away from just doing the whole album by yourself. And I ruined that for you. It's maybe this is like the wrong way to think about it, but the way that I live in the moment, even if it's a bad moment, is somebody has it 10 times worse than me right now, somewhere on this planet. I remember when I was in Guatemala, there's a tank on the roof, and so the city fills it up like a certain time of day, and then you have that water supply for that 24-hour period. So if you gotta do laundry, wash dishes, you're in a family, it's like 10 people that live in a big house, like all of you guys have to ration out that water. I was like, man, I leave the water running when I'm brushing my teeth for like 3 minutes sometimes, yeah, just appreciating simple things like that, man. And things are just gonna get more and more complex as you age. That's it. It went from me having a cell phone, not paying the cell phone bill, and I became a senior in high school, and then I gotta pay my cell phone bill, and then I got a car, and I got insurance, and the gas is like tripled,
health insurance when you turn 26.
I turned 26. My mom's like, we're both 30 now. But what's funny is when I wrote the verse, there's a line like, back in the day I was in my 20s, and I was in my 20s when I wrote the verse. But I knew the song.
You knew I would take a long time to finish it.
I was like, also gonna take a while to put the album out, so let me just put this line in here. And sure enough, I turned 30, and then the album was released a few months later, after we both turned 30. But yeah, it's just a complex machine, is life, and it's just gonna keep getting more and more complex.
We ended up adding a little bit more to the rap with a second session. Fun fact, if you listen to the rap, there's one moment where there's an overlap of the lyrics. That was because it was 2 different sessions.
And it was a pain, well, mostly pain that you had to suffer through trying to mix, because we recorded the first part of the verse in this room right here, and then the second part was at your church, the second half of it. And so it's so hard. This is a pretty open room, so when it comes to mixing and audio engineering, it's like, we gotta try to get this to sound consistent all the way through. Which you nailed, and there's a part where it like drops down like the mood changes of the verse too, and you kind of use the fact that we were in 2 different rooms to
the dynamic
accent make the verse more dynamic instead of having it flatline. So the room change for recording the verse in 2 different areas actually complemented the song.
Well, go check out Simpler Times. Features my buddy Kamryn. Kamryn Leigh Music on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate you listening and taking the time to listen to us ramble about it. And I love you.
Love you guys.
Well spent, we can reminisce. All the simpler times will be forever missed.
I think this video is gonna be longer than 4 minutes.
Stay tuned. Wait for 15 years and see.
Why don't you set that down? I wanted a chorus too. Excuse me.
Man, here we go. Here we go.
I say a lot too. It's really bad.
We should just leave all this in.